Ladies, let me talk to you for a moment. When a man starts to distance himself, when he pulls back, goes quiet, stops calling, stops texting, and suddenly acts like you don't exist, I know it hurts. It confuses you. It makes you question yourself. You start thinking, did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? Why is he treating me like this? But listen to me carefully. A man's distance is not your failure. It is his decision. When a man ignores you, it is a message. Silence is communication. Distance is an answer. And the worst thing you can do in that moment is chase him. Because the more you chase, the less he values you. The more you beg, the less he respects you. The more you explain, the weaker you appear. Let me tell you something powerful. If a man wants you, he will not risk losing you. A man who truly cares will not leave you confused. He will not leave you guessing. He will not leave you hurting in silence. So when he distances himself, you do not chase, you do not beg, you do not explain. You do this, you pull your energy back, you regain your power. You focus on your life, your goals, your growth, because the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop trying to prove your worth, the moment you stop reacting, that is the moment he feels your absence. Your silence becomes loud. Your distance becomes powerful. Your self-respect becomes attractive. And here's the truth. A real man does not respond to desperation. A real man responds to strength. So stand tall, fix your crown, walk in confidence. If he comes back, it's because he realized your value. If he doesn't, it's because he was never meant to stay. And either way, you win. When a man becomes distant and starts ignoring you, the first thing you must understand is this: silence is an answer. Most people are waiting for a clear explanation, a long message, or a dramatic conversation. But real life doesn't always work like that. Sometimes the loudest message is no message at all. When a man stops calling, stops texting, replies late, gives dry responses, or suddenly becomes busy all the time, that silence is speaking to you. It is telling you exactly where you stand in his priorities. And the painful truth is, when someone truly cares, they do not disappear. They do not leave you confused. They do not leave you questioning your value. They make time. They make effort. They make you feel secure, not anxious. Many women make the mistake of overthinking in these moments. They stop blaming themselves. They think maybe they said something wrong. Maybe they asked for too much. Maybe they loved too hard. Maybe they cared too deeply. But caring is not a weakness. Loving is not a mistake. Wanting attention and respect and consistency is not asking for too much. What is wrong is accepting less than you deserve. When a man chooses silence, he is choosing distance. And when he chooses distance, he is showing you that for whatever reason, he is not fully present anymore. That doesn't mean you are not enough. It means he is not ready, not mature enough, or not willing to give what a real relationship requires. Silence can be uncomfortable. It makes you restless. It makes you check your phone again and again. It makes you replay old conversations in your mind, searching for a clue, a reason, an explanation. But instead of searching for answers in your head, look at his actions. Actions never lie. Words can be sweet. Promises can sound beautiful, but actions always reveal the truth. If his actions show distance, inconsistency, and lack of effort, then that is your answer. No matter how much you want things to be different, you cannot force someone to show up for you. When a man ignores you, chasing him will not bring him closer. In fact, it often does the opposite. The more you chase, the more he pulls away. The more you explain, the less he listens. The more you beg for attention, the less valuable your attention becomes in his eyes. This is not because you are unworthy, but because human nature often takes for granted what is always available. When you stop reacting, stop chasing, and stop explaining, you shift the power dynamic. You show emotional strength. You show self-respect. You show that your life does not revolve around someone who cannot show up for you. Understanding silence as an answer helps you regain control of your emotions. Instead of waiting helplessly, you begin to choose yourself. You begin to protect your peace. You begin to invest your energy in your growth, your goals, and your happiness. And this shift is powerful. When you stop making someone the center of your world, you become the center of your own. You start to feel stronger, calmer, and more confident. You realize that your worth is not decided by how often someone texts you or how quickly they reply. Sometimes silence is also a test. Some men pull back to see how much power they have over your emotions. They want to see if you will chase, beg, or break. But when you remain calm, composed, and focused on yourself, you send a clear message. Your self-respect is stronger than your fear of losing them. That level of emotional maturity is rare, and it is deeply attractive. It shows that you are secure within yourself, not dependent on someone else for validation. And if his silence is not a test, but a genuine loss of interest, then accepting it with grace saves you from prolonged pain. Instead of holding on to false hope, you free yourself to move forward. You make space for someone who will value your presence, respect your time, and cherish your heart. Because the right person will never leave you in confusion. The right person will never make you feel invisible. The right person will communicate, even when things are difficult. So when a man distances himself and chooses silence, do not panic, do not chase, do not beg. Understand the message, accept it, learn from it, grow from it, protect your dignity, protect your heart. Let silence guide you toward clarity, strength, and self-worth. Because the moment you realize that silence is an answer, you stop wasting your energy on those who do not deserve it, and you start building a life that reflects your true value. When a man starts to distance himself, one of the biggest mistakes a woman can make is chasing him. Chasing may feel natural in the moment because your heart is involved, your emotions are intense, and your mind is desperate for clarity. You want answers. You want reassurance. You want to know what changed and why. So you call, you text, you double text, you send long messages explaining your feelings, you ask questions, you try to fix things, and sometimes you even beg. But the painful truth is, chasing a man who has chosen distance only pushes him further away. When you chase, you are sending a message that you are afraid to lose him, even if he is not treating you the way you deserve. You are telling him that your emotional peace depends on his attention. And when someone realizes they have that much control over your emotions, respect slowly starts to fade. Not because you are weak, but because human psychology often takes advantage of availability. When something is always there, always waiting, always trying, it loses its value in the eyes of someone who is not emotionally mature. A man who is truly interested does not need to be chased. He does not need reminders to care. He does not need pressure to show effort. He does not need convincing to stay. If he wants you, he will naturally move toward you. He will make time. He will communicate. He will show consistency. So when you find yourself chasing, it is a clear sign that the balance is already broken. You are giving more than you are receiving, and that imbalance creates emotional exhaustion, self-doubt, and deep inner pain. Chasing also puts you in a position of weakness. Not because loving deeply is wrong, but because when you overextend yourself to someone who is pulling away, slowly abandon your self-respect. You start to tolerate behavior you once said you would never accept. You excuse coldness. You justify silence. You make excuses for disrespect. And over time, you lose sight of your own worth. You start believing that love must be painful, that effort must be one-sided, and that waiting is part of caring. But love is not supposed to feel like anxiety. Connection is not supposed to feel like confusion. And affection is not supposed to feel like loneliness. When you stop chasing, something powerful happens. You reclaim your dignity. You take your power back. You shift your focus from him to yourself. Instead of waiting for a reply, you start living your life. Instead of checking your phone, you invest in your growth. Instead of questioning your worth, you rebuild your confidence. This emotional shift changes everything. It reminds you that you had a full life before him, and you can have a full life without him if necessary. A man who distances himself expects a reaction. He expects you to reach out. He expects you to chase. He expects you to explain. And when that reaction does not come, it creates discomfort. It creates curiosity. It creates reflection. Your silence forces him to think. Your absence forces him to feel. Your self-control forces him to question his decision. And if he truly cares, that is when he realizes what he is losing. But even if he does not come back, your dignity remains intact and your self-worth stays protected. Chasing someone who is emotionally unavailable only delays your healing. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of hope and disappointment. One day he gives a little attention, the next day he disappears again, and you stay trapped in emotional uncertainty. This cycle slowly drains your energy, your confidence, and your peace of mind. But the moment you stop chasing, you break that cycle, you create emotional space. You allow yourself to breathe. You give yourself the opportunity to detach and heal. Chasing does not mean you do not care. It means you care enough about yourself to not tolerate emotional neglect. It means you value your mental health. It means you understand that real love does not require force. It flows naturally. It is mutual. It is balanced. And when that balance is missing, walking away becomes an act of self-love, not weakness. When you refuse to chase, you send a silent but powerful message. You know your worth. You are not desperate. You are not afraid to lose someone who cannot show up for you. You are strong enough to let go of what hurts you, even if you still care. And that strength is rare. That strength builds confidence. That strength attracts respect. So when a man distances himself, do not run after him. Do not beg for attention. Do not plead for explanations. Stand still. Pull your energy back. Focus on yourself. Grow. Heal. And remember, anyone who truly belongs in your life will not need to be chased. They will walk toward you willingly, consistently, and with genuine intention. When a man distances himself, one of the most powerful things you can do is pull your energy back and turn your focus inward. Instead of pouring your emotions, time, and mental space into someone who is pulling away, you begin to redirect all of that energy toward yourself. This is not about punishment, manipulation, or playing games. This is about self-preservation, emotional balance, and personal growth. When you shift your attention back to your own life, you start rebuilding the parts of yourself that were neglected while you were focused on him. Pulling your energy back means you stop waiting for his messages. You stop checking your phone every few minutes. You stop replaying conversations in your mind, searching for hidden meanings. You stop analyzing his behavior, his tone, and his silence. Instead, you choose peace. You choose clarity. You choose yourself. This decision immediately creates emotional space. And in that space, you begin to feel lighter, calmer, and more in control of your emotions. Focusing on yourself allows you to reconnect with who you were before the confusion began. You remember your dreams, your passions, your goals, and your personal values. You start investing in your growth, whether that means learning new skills, improving your health, focusing on your career, deepening your faith, or strengthening your relationships with friends and family. As you grow, your confidence naturally increases. And confidence changes the way you see yourself and the way others see you. When your energy is centered on yourself, you stop seeking validation from external sources. You no longer depend on someone else's attention to feel worthy. You realize that your value does not rise or fall based on someone's behavior. This internal shift is deeply empowering. You begin to trust yourself more. You become emotionally stable. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding thoughtfully. You become more selective about where you invest your time and emotions. Pulling your energy back also creates emotional balance. Relationships should be based on mutual effort, not emotional overinvestment from one side. When you give too much to someone who is giving little, you become emotionally drained. But when you redirect that energy to yourself, you restore balance. You protect your mental health. You protect your emotional well-being. You create boundaries that prevent you from being taken for granted. As you focus on yourself, you naturally become more attractive. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Confidence, self-respect, and emotional stability are powerful qualities. When you are busy building your life, improving yourself, and enjoying your journey, you radiate positive energy. You become someone who is fulfilled, not desperate. Someone who is grounded, not anxious. Someone who is whole, not waiting to be completed by someone else. This shift also changes how you experience love. Instead of attaching quickly and deeply to someone who has not yet proven their consistency, you move slowly, observe actions, and protect your heart. You become more aware of red flags and more appreciative of genuine effort. You stop romanticizing potential and start valuing reality. You understand that love should add to your life, not consume it. Focusing on yourself helps you heal emotional wounds. When someone distances themselves, it can trigger feelings of rejection, abandonment, and insecurity. By investing in your growth, you allow yourself to process these emotions in a healthy way. You learn self-compassion. You learn patience. You learn emotional resilience. Over time, you become stronger, wiser, and more emotionally intelligent. This personal growth prepares you for healthier relationships in the future. You develop clearer boundaries. You raise your standards. You become more selective. You no longer settle for inconsistency, confusion, or emotional neglect. You choose partners who communicate clearly, show consistent effort, and respect your time and feelings. You understand that real connection is built on mutual understanding, trust, and emotional safety. Pulling your energy back is not about emotional coldness. It is about emotional wisdom. It is about knowing when to step back, reflect, and protect yourself. It is about recognizing your own worth and refusing to give unlimited access to someone who is uncertain about their intentions. It is about choosing growth over pain, clarity over confusion, and self-respect over emotional attachment. When you focus on yourself, you grow into a stronger, more confident version of you. You become emotionally secure, mentally resilient, and deeply grounded. And in that strength, you discover a powerful truth. You are complete on your own. And anyone who enters your life should only add to your happiness, not define it. Self-respect is one of the most powerful qualities a woman can possess, and it is far more attractive than desperation, chasing, or emotional overgiving. When a woman truly respects herself, she naturally sets standards for how she should be treated. She does not tolerate neglect, inconsistency, or emotional confusion. She understands that her time, energy, and emotions are valuable. And she does not hand them over to someone who does not appreciate them. This inner strength creates a quiet confidence that draws people toward her without effort. Desperation, on the other hand, pushes people away. When a woman appears desperate for attention, love, or validation, it sends a message that she does not believe she is enough on her own. She begins to seek her worth in someone else's behavior. This emotional dependence creates imbalance in relationships. Instead of being two whole individuals choosing each other, it becomes one person trying to hold on to the other out of fear of loss. This fear-based connection often leads to anxiety, insecurity, and emotional exhaustion. A woman with self-respect does not beg for attention. She does not chase affection. She does not tolerate being ignored. She understands that real love is mutual and consistent. If someone distances themselves, she does not panic. She does not overreact. She calmly steps back and observes. She trusts that what is meant for her will not require force, begging, or emotional struggle. This calm confidence is incredibly attractive because it reflects emotional maturity and inner stability. Self-respect also means setting boundaries. Boundaries protect your emotional health and preserve your dignity. They help you communicate what behavior is acceptable and what is not. When you have clear boundaries, you do not allow people to treat you casually while expecting serious emotional investment from you. You do not allow disrespect, manipulation, or emotional neglect. Instead, you choose to surround yourself with people who value, respect, and support you. When you operate from a place of self-respect, your presence becomes powerful. You no longer seek approval. You no longer chase validation. You no longer compromise your values just to keep someone close. You understand that being alone is better than being in a relationship where you feel unwanted, insecure, or emotionally drained. This mindset shifts the entire dynamic of your interactions. People sense your confidence and they respond to it with greater respect. Self-respect changes the way you love. Instead of giving everything too quickly, you move with awareness and intention. You allow trust to build over time. You observe actions instead of believing empty words. You protect your heart while remaining open. This balance allows you to form deeper, healthier connections. You start confusing intensity with intimacy and start valuing consistency, honesty, and emotional safety. A woman who respects herself does not compete for attention. She does not feel threatened by other women. She does not measure her worth against someone else's beauty, success, or personality. She understands that she is unique and irreplaceable in her own way. This self-acceptance creates inner peace and emotional stability. When you are comfortable with who you are, you stop trying to prove your worth to others. Self-respect also strengthens emotional resilience. When someone distances themselves or walks away, it still hurts, but it does not break you. You process the pain, learn from the experience, and move forward with grace. You do not allow rejection to define you. You do not internalize someone else's inability to commit or communicate. Instead, you see it as redirection, guiding you towards something better aligned with your values and emotional needs. Choosing self-respect over desperation is an act of self-love. It means valuing your mental health, emotional well-being, and long-term happiness. It means trusting yourself enough to walk away from situations that do not serve your growth. It means believing that you deserve a love that is peaceful, secure, and fulfilling. And when you operate from this place, you naturally attract people who are emotionally mature, respectful, and capable of giving genuine love. Self-respect is not loud. It does not seek attention. It does not demand validation. It simply exists in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you set boundaries, and the way you choose peace over chaos. And in that quiet strength lies your true power. When a man truly wants a woman, he will not risk losing her. This is a simple but powerful truth. Real desire creates effort. Genuine interest creates consistency. True intention creates action. A man who values you will not leave you confused, uncertain, or emotionally insecure. He will make his feelings known through his behavior. He will communicate. He will show up. He will protect the connection, not play with it. If someone is truly afraid of losing you, they will not create situations that push you away. Many women hold on to hope when a man distances himself, believing that he might just be busy, stressed, or confused. While life can be demanding, no one is too busy for someone they truly care about. People make time for what matters to them. They find ways to stay connected, even in small ways. A short message, a quick call, a thoughtful check-in. These simple actions show that someone is thinking about you. When these efforts disappear, it is not because time vanished, but because priorities shifted. A man who truly wants you understands the value of emotional security. He knows that consistency builds trust, and trust builds connection. He does not leave you guessing. He does not create emotional distance without explanation. He does not disappear and reappear whenever it suits him. Instead, he stays present. He communicates honestly. He makes sure you feel seen, heard, and valued. This consistency creates a safe emotional environment where love can grow naturally. When a man risks losing you, it often reveals emotional unavailability, fear of a commitment, or lack of clarity about his intentions. Some men enjoy attention but fear responsibility. They want the comfort of connection without the responsibility of emotional investment. They like knowing someone cares, but they are not ready to show the same level of care in return. This imbalance leads to confusion, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion for the woman involved. Understanding that a man who wants you will not risk losing you helps you set healthier expectations. You stop settling for inconsistent behavior. You stop excusing neglect. You stop normalizing emotional distance. You begin to recognize that love should feel safe, not stressful. Connection should feel warm, not cold. Effort should be mutual, not one-sided. This awareness protects you from emotional manipulation and keeps you grounded in reality rather than hope. When you accept this truth, you also stop blaming yourself. You realize that his distance is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of his emotional capacity and readiness. You understand that you cannot convince someone to value you. You cannot force someone to choose you. You cannot love someone into loving you back. And this realization, while painful, is deeply freeing. It releases you from the burden of trying to prove yourself. A man who's afraid of losing you will protect the relationship. He will avoid unnecessary conflicts. He will work through misunderstandings. He will apologize when wrong. He will listen. He will grow. He will compromise. He will invest. He will not take your presence for granted. He understands that genuine connection is rare and precious, and he treats it accordingly. When someone repeatedly risks losing you through silence, distance, and inconsistency, they are showing you that they are comfortable with the idea of life without you. And while that truth can hurt deeply, it also provides clarity. It allows you to step back, reassess, and decide what you truly deserve. It gives you the opportunity to choose yourself rather than staying in a cycle of emotional uncertainty. Recognizing this truth strengthens your emotional boundaries. You become more selective about who you allow close to your heart. You stop investing deeply in people who have not proven their consistency. You learn to observe actions instead of clinging to words. You develop emotional patience. You allow relationships to unfold naturally rather than rushing into attachment. This emotional maturity protects your heart and prepares you for healthier connections. When a man truly wants you, you will not have to question it. You will not feel anxious. You will not feel insecure. You will not feel confused. You will feel calm, valued, and safe. His actions will speak clearly. And until you experience that kind of clarity, remember this: anyone who is willing to risk losing you is not fully ready to keep you.